What's poppin', you guys? How y'all doing this week? How y'all feeling? How you feeling? How's your family? How's everybody? But anyway, if y'all new here, my name's Ciara, and this is Self-Made Energy, where we want for nothing because we can manifest anything. This week, I made a cute little, I'm gonna call it a Hello Kitty skirt because it gives me so much Hello Kitty vibes. It's so adorable. And y'all, I added the cute little bow because I didn't want it to be just a, babe, I'm trying to record. Why are you always interrupting? Anyway, I made a cute little Hello Kitty skirt and I added this little bow just because I didn't want it to be like a plain little white skirt. I wanted. What is the matter? Do you need to be in my video, love? What is the matter? What is the matter? I'm working, lady. I'm working. You want to sit on my lap while I work? Is that what it is? So anyway, I made a cute little Hello Kitty skirt. And it was just, oh my God, babe, you gotta chill. And I added the little bow just because I didn't want it to be like a plain white skirt. I really wanted to add like my own little touches on it. So of course I added a bow. And it just changed the whole dynamic of the skirt. Like, it changed it from blah to, yes, babe, who is that? Who is she? Who is she? Yes, so let's get into it because she's over me right now. Let's go. Okay, so boom. First thing I did was get 1 yard of this honeycomb white. I'm gonna say this is like some sort of knit. It's 100% polyester, but it feels like a knit. It's very thick, but it's also stretchy. But yes, I got 1 yard of that, and I cut out the front and the back of just your basic skirt pattern. If you have a skirt at home that you like the way it fits, you can use that as well. You don't have to use a pattern. Just make sure to cut out the front and the back because they are different. I did end up making a mistake when I cut out the front and the back, but we'll talk about that in a second. I also cut out a waistband, and I also cut out interfacing for the waistband, and then I ironed that on off camera. So just know that you do have to iron the interfacing on. They do have sew on interfacing as well, but I have the iron on version. Now that I have everything laid out and ready to mark the darts, I realized I cut out the front and back on the wrong pieces. I was supposed to cut the front out on the fold and the back out just double layered, but instead I cut the back out on the fold. So I did just end up switching the pieces around because I did use the biggest size of the pattern and I knew I was going to have to take it in later anyway. So I just switched the pieces around. They're about the same shape, but as you can see, the back was bigger than the front, so I did have to trim a little off the front just to even them out and make sure they fit the pattern exactly. And then I made the adjustments later, but make sure you look at where you should be cutting your pieces out on your pattern. It will let you know, so make sure you check everything out first. Once I was done correcting all my mistakes, I marked all the notches and all the darts. And because this fabric is stretchy, I didn't necessarily need darts, but I did want to add the darts just for the look. In order for me to mark the peak of my darts, I just stuck a pin into the top of the dart, and then I just pulled the tissue paper right off. It'll go right through, very easy. Once I have the peak marked out, I already previously cut out the bottom of the dart, so I just matched those 2 notches up. And I pinned along that seam. I had 2 darts in the front piece and 4 darts in my back piece. 2 on each back piece because the back is split in half because I will be adding a zipper later. Once I have all my darts secured into place, I took them over to Trixie and I just did a straight stitch along the pins to secure all the darts into place. I did do a back stitch at the beginning of the stitch, but I did not do one at the end. I just sewed right off the edge of the fabric, and then I took the strands that were hanging and just did a double knot, just so the tip of the dart can be nice and crisp. I did the same exact thing for all 6 darts just to make sure everything was nice and tidy and make sure everything lines up. Make sure all your darts end at the same place. Unless you want them to be a little edgy and different, make sure it's nice and neat and lined up and even so it looks professional, all right? Don't forget that. We're aiming for a nice professional store-bought look, at least with this piece. Okay, so once I was done securing all my darts into place, I took my front piece and I did what they call stay stitching. I just did that just because the pattern instructions said to do that. I'm not really sure what it's for. I think it's to secure the dart flap secure facing the back. So I did iron the dart towards the back and then I did a stay stitch. That's just a straight stitch across the entire top perimeter of the fabric, and I did that for the front and the back pieces. And for the 2 back pieces, I made sure the darts were laying towards the middle or towards the zipper, and then I just stay stitched those into place as well. Now I'm going to begin putting all the pieces of the skirt together. So I took the 2 back pieces right side together and I pinned up all the way up until I wanted the zipper to stop. And I probably wouldn't even pin this part since I already did the skirt and I've been through the experience. I probably shouldn't have closed this part at all. I should have left this part open, but it's a learning experience and I closed it up, so it is what it is, I guess. Do as I say, not as I do sometimes. Once my 2 back pieces were put together, my back was fully done. So I took that right side up and I took the front piece and I put those right sides together and I just pinned up both side seams, and then I did a straight stitch along both side seams, completely closing up the skirt. Once I was done fully closing up the skirt, I did leave the zipper part open, but I took this opportunity to try the skirt on and make any adjustments, make it a little bit more shapely, a little bit closer to how I saw my last vision. And I did also shorten it a little bit, and I also took this time to mark out where I wanted my opening to be for my little bow extension that I told y'all about earlier. So I did mark that out as well. And here you see me just cutting out a little opening. It's kind of like a triangle, like a really little chubby triangle. It does have a little point at the top, but it's a very faint point. I didn't want it to be too sharp, just a slight point. And just to secure that into place, I just folded it over 2 times and did a straight stitch around the entire perimeter of that opening. Even though this fabric doesn't fray, I did just want it to have a nice crisp look around that edge because I knew attention was going to be drawn there once I put the bow in place. So now we're circling back around to I shouldn't have closed up that back seam because now I need to attach the zipper. And as you can see, I also had a bright pink zipper instead of a white zipper. Somehow I misplaced my white zipper. I don't know how. I know I purchased one and then it just completely disappeared off the face of the earth, and I wasn't about to go to the store to get another one. So I used this pink one, and it would have proved me right to just go to the store and get a white one, because later on in the video, while trying it on, doing my last fitting, I broke this pink zipper. And I ended up having to go to the store and get a white one anyway. So just don't be lazy and do what you got to do the first time. Do it right the first time, and you won't have to do it twice. But anyway, I digress. I moved on to making the little strap that I was going to attach the bow to. So I just measured out how much space there was that I cut from the skirt, and I took a 4-inch piece of fabric and I just folded it in half with the right sides touching, and I did a straight stitch along that outer edge. Then I took my loop turner and flipped it right side out, and then I just did a top stitch around the entire perimeter just to make sure that rectangle was nice and crisp. Once I was done making that little piece, I took this opportunity to just finish up the hem on the skirt. So I just rolled the hem up 2 times and did a straight stitch around the entire bottom of the skirt. I then attached that little rectangle that I just made just to the sides of the skirt. Literally nothing fancy, just a straight stitch, just to keep it in place. It doesn't need to be super sturdy because this is not a skin tight skirt. So it doesn't need to be super crazy, a bunch of stitching, all this extra stuff. I don't know how to do all the extra stuff, so I just did a straight stitch. And it worked out pretty fine. So, I don't know. Do as you will. And as you can see, again, during this project, I'm jumping around all over the place. Not really sure where I'm going, but somehow I get there anyway. I moved on to doing the waistband. So I took my waistband that had already been interfaced and I pinned it right sides together around the entire perimeter of the top of my skirt. And then I did a straight stitch around that entire perimeter. And for some reason, I decided I'm not going to finish attaching the waistband. I'm going to move on to creating the bow. So I took 2 rectangles that were 6 inches by 3 inches, and I pinned those right sides together, and I did a straight stitch around the entire perimeter, leaving a 2-inch opening just so I could flip it right side out. But before I flipped it right side out, I just made sure to clip the corners just so they weren't bulky and my bow could be nice and crisp. Once I flipped my bow right side out, I decided I was going to do a top stitch around the entire perimeter of the bow just so it could be nice and crisp, because apparently I'm into crispy things. Like, I like my chicken crispy and I like my bows crispy. Like, it is what it is. Take it how you feel. Take it how you see fit. Crispy bows is where it's at. I mean, you know what? I guess I like the round, full, voluptuous bows too. But for this look, I was going crispy. But anyway, I'm getting very sidetracked. Then I took a 2-inch by 2-inch piece of fabric and I just folded it in half so I could have that little loop that goes in the middle of the bow. And I just did a straight stitch along that edge, flipped it right side out, and then I just folded it in half and did a straight stitch just so it could be a loop, and slid it right on the edge of my bow. And it came out so cute. Oh my god, look at that bow, y'all. So adorable. But anyway, now that my bow is done and I'm satisfied, I can go back to attaching the rest of the waistband. So in order for me to finish attaching the waistband, I just took the waistband and folded it over and made sure to catch the bottom edge that I just attached the waistband to the skirt. I hope this is making sense. But the last seam that I just attached the waistband to the skirt to, I am attaching the top of the waistband to that seam so it does not show on the outside. I believe this is called stitching in the ditch, where you just stitch over the last stitch that you did so it's invisible. That's what I'm doing. Very hard for me to explain. I hope you can see what I'm doing, and if not, let me know and I'll try to make a separate video on it, or in one of my next projects I'll try to go deeper in depth on how to do that. Also, if there's any other things that you would like me to talk about or maybe try out, maybe you're new to it, I'm new to it, we can learn together. Let me know your ideas in the comments. Let me know something that you want me to work on next. The shirt that you're going to see me wear this skirt with in the final reveal, I also made that, but I didn't end up making a video for it just because it was just a project that I did really quick. I didn't know if it was going to come out amazing or not, but it ended up coming amazing. So maybe I'll make a video on how I did that top too. Let me know if you want to see that. But yeah, once I was done attaching the waistband, I decided to try it on and make all my last fittings. So I just pinned in what I thought I needed to take in, and I just took out all the extra from the side seams, and that still left my hem and my waistband very crisp once I took in all that fabric. I just cut off the excess, and that was it. In order to attach the bow, I just did a straight stitch right over the edge, and that bow was done, y'all. Oh my god, you guys, I'm so excited you made it to the end of the video. I hope you loved it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it entertaining and full of new information. And I hope you go out and you make this adorable skirt because it's so cute. And I know I'm going to get so much use out of it. And as you guys saw, I gave you a little sneak peek of my new brand, Pastel Pixie. I'm working on it. I'm definitely going to be making some custom one-of-a-kind pieces. And I'm working on starting my little business. So y'all better watch out for it because it's not going to be a little business for long. Y'all going to hear about me. So keep a lookout. Make sure you subscribe so you can follow along my journey with that as well. And share this with everybody so they know what's going on here because we really lit over here. Y'all be playing. We about to blow. But anyway, until next time, you guys, I'm wishing you all love, peace, and cupcakes. Bye.